Like none of the other stuff. The
All right,
media
so as y'all
assets.
can tell, we just like randomly went live because Josh is having some technical difficulties and he couldn't see anything. So we are live now, or at least I think we're live now. And we usually start out with something like this. And we're back. I did get the notification on my phone. We are live. You didn't
Cool.
like you didn't like hit something up top, did you?
I see none of the typical drop downs or controls or anything at all. I can't see any of it. It's all the whole right side of my screen is missing.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, we're at least going to pretend that we're doing things the way we're supposed to do them. So I'm gonna do this.
It's me. It's Alan. That part I can do because I have those controls. I'm gonna log out and log back in and see if I can't figure out what's going on here.
Okay.
In the meantime, talk amongst yourselves.
All right. So I know we have a lot of people that are tired from last weekend. It was a great weekend at the Expo. I'm kind of rip raring and ready to go. I think we should do it all over again this weekend, but I got a feeling that Josh and Jeremy and everybody just don't want to do that. Um, I would love to know in the comments when y'all watch this. Let me know what y'all's favorite pickups were of the weekend. Um, just so we can kind of get an idea, because I did pick up quite a few books over the weekend.
That
And
worked.
Josh is back.
That
Did it
worked.
work?
It did. The whole right side of the screen is now back.
That is weird.
That was super strange. Yeah.
Huh.
But anyhow, the Expo 2026, year 11. Uh, I think the number he said was just shy of 25,000 people.
Good. Look, you know, Friday night was definitely busier than a typical Friday at the Expo.
Yes.
Um, Saturday was weird because it was like it started out for, I would say, the first hour and a half, it was decent. Then it got really busy for a couple of hours. And then it like died off, and it was like it was just hit or miss for the rest of the day. And then I thought Sunday was pretty good up until about 2:30, 3 o'clock. And then everybody started scattering. But I also know that Saturday night and Sunday night it was also WrestleMania. And you know, we rednecks, we do love our wrestling.
Well, that's true. I will say Friday, just as far as busyness at our booth, Friday was busy. And we did very well. Saturday, the first like 4 hours or so were quiet. It was really quiet. It wasn't that nothing was happening. It was just weird. It's like everybody was going around the perimeter of the vendor hall and not walking through the middle of it. But we ended up doing well. We did slightly better on Saturday than we did on Friday, which had we not done gangbusters on Friday, I would have been concerned. But we did great on Friday. And then Sunday, we were busy the whole time. Normally, if you recall, it hits 4 o'clock and we're like, there's nobody coming around. It's dead quiet, and we're starting to like pack up the little stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Nuh-uh. We had no time for that. we were packing up right at 5 o'clock because we just had people there the whole time. And we did better on Sunday than we did on Saturday, which is
Saturday
bizarre.
It was just a weird day Saturday.
But all told, we were up 164% over last year.
No, you can't beat that.
I mean, we could.
Well, yeah, you could, but
we had a whole lot of people looking at that Daredevil #1.
I looked at it randomly throughout the weekend myself, and I'll look at it tomorrow when I come by the shop.
Fair enough. We had one guy. Turns out he was a member of the 501st. He was walking around and he kept coming back and looking at that Star Wars #1 we had up on the shelf. Just kept looking at it. It was the 5th or 6th time when he finally decided to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Then he took it home. And then he kept coming back and he was looking at that one, the Negative Space cover with Hayden Christian Anderson.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's not his name. Hayden Christensen. I just mixed Hans Christian Andersen with Hayden Christensen.
And the bad thing about it is I just sat here and agreed with you. I knew you was talking about.
Yeah. But then he started coming around looking at that. He didn't end up buying that one, but he just kept looking at it, kept coming back. But we had a great time at the show. It was a lot of fun. It was tiring. It was exhausting, but it was a lot of fun.
I know, but I'll be honest with you. It's like I was telling them when you was logging back in. I'm ready to do it all over again this weekend.
Not me. Don't wait, though. You skip 1 week and you got free comic book day.
I know. I cannot wait for that. And then
you can come up and exercise those muscles at free comic book day. Get some people to buy some wall books.
I will do my very best. Tots and I are already making plans for free RPG day.
Fantastic.
I do believe we're going to have an Old Gods game going.
Excellent. That should be awesome. Old Gods of Appalachia.
Cannot wait for that. So were you able to pick anything up at the show?
Well, you know that I was. I didn't get much. I saw 2 celebrities and a handful of the comic book artists and guests that were there. And that was it. I didn't go to another booth. I didn't see another thing. I didn't even get to look around at Deb and Steve's booth just across the way from us. I didn't get to flip through anybody's long boxes of comics. Nothing. Not one. Because we were busy.
I got to flip through a couple, but I didn't see. But I mean, you know how I am. I'm always looking for Daredevil stuff.
Sure.
I got to flip through a couple, but didn't see anything that I really couldn't live without.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I did walk away with a fat stack of Daredevil comics like that. But I mean, all of those come from your booth. And then I got, which we can talk about these 2 comic books here in a little bit. I do have and I'm trying to decide if I want to have these graded. I just don't know yet. Even though they're signed, it would be that whatever verified. I don't care about all that because it's for me.
Yep.
I do have my Expo exclusive Art the Clown cover signed by David Howard Thornton and Mark Spears.
Hang on, I'm going to have to embiggen you a little bit.
Okay.
So folks can see that because that cover is awesome.
Yep. So,
is that the metal cover?
Yes, this is actually the metal cover.
And there were only 100 of those?
I believe there's only 100 of these. Even if I took it
that
out,
glare is killing it, but yeah.
Yeah, and even if I took it out of because I actually have it in a top loader.
Yeah, because that metal is just reflective. It's gonna be bright.
But then there is also the back of it, which I don't think the back of it is getting enough love. I think the back of this book is wicked looking.
It is. I agree.
For those of you that have never met David Howard Thornton, the guy who plays Art the Clown, He is a Huntsville native, but the man is an absolute sweetheart. I mean,
He
just is.
is like the nicest human being ever.
Yes, so Mark Spears' booth was set up across from his, for those of you that didn't make it to the expo. And I watched this man all weekend long interact with fans. And you could tell that he was genuinely having fun. And the fans were genuinely having fun with him also. I mean, it was really cool to watch.
I'll say
Another
what was funny was being a Huntsville local. He got his start doing theater locally, and he did a lot of stuff with Fantasy Playhouse when he was a kid with the children's theater, and then he did stuff with Huntsville Community Chorus Theater, um, which was great. I've done a lot of theater locally, and in our times, like we never worked on a show together, but when I was in the line getting an autograph from him, I asked him. I said, you know Bill Hubsher, right? He's like, yeah, of course I know Bill Hubsher. Love Bill Hubsher. Um, and it turns out Bill's wife, Lori, was in David's first show. They were both in that show together. Uh, What's up, Dope Comics? Um, but yeah, so they were in that show together, and so they've known each other forever. And David said that his mom had really encouraged Bill. He's like, he's got that voice. Bill needs to like be doing theater and stuff. And now Bill is the voice of the Huntsville Havoc and of the Huntsville Soccer Club and all kinds of stuff. He's like, go! You know, he's the guy that's doing all that stuff, and it's pretty epic. But I said, well, you know, Bill's working over at my booth, and he goes, oh, you have to tell him to come by. And I said he went to come by, but he didn't want to stand in the line for that long because he needed to get back to the booth. And that line was really long. And he goes, well, just tell him to walk up to the front. I was like, Bill's not going to do that.
No.
But I will. So Sunday, I walked Bill over there, and as it happened, David was not at his booth. He had stepped back in the green room to grab some lunch real quick. And we caught him just as he was coming back. So we didn't have to step in the line. He met Bill before he got back to his table. And the people in the line were all standing there watching, and he's just hugging Bill and, oh my God, how are you? And catching up. And that was pretty great. And then Bill introduced him to his son, Rob, and Rob is a huge fan. And so David just walked him over there to the table and gave him several pictures and signed them all and all that kind of stuff. So it was pretty great. But yeah, he was just a sweetheart of a guy. And then he got engaged at the show, at the photo ops, in his Art the Clown Terrifier costume.
Okay, have you watched those movies?
No, I've been told. I mean, now I feel like I have to because I've met him and I really like him. And he was a super cool dude.
So the reason to watch those movies is literally because of him. He does such a great job. Even though he's in costume the entire time, he does such a great job.
And he never speaks. Is that right?
He never says a word, but he doesn't have to. Especially in the first movie, there's a diner scene toward the beginning of the movie.
You did it right. You did it right.
Yeah.
You got the white sauce, man. You're good.
But even with all that makeup on, his facial expressions are still coming through like loud and clear.
Yeah.
And he does a really great job. You really need to, but keep in mind, you're not going into this for the plot, okay?
Oh, have no fear. Yeah. Are they streaming anywhere, or where can I go to find them?
I know that at least the first two are on Tubi, and Tubi is free to download. It's TUBI.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, I know the first two are on there because that's where I watched them. Actually, I've only seen the first one. I haven't seen the second one yet. I'm sure they're on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, everything else.
I do feel compelled to watch him after having met him now.
Yep.
And he was just such a cool guy. I want to support him.
So the vast majority of these books are Mark Spears books that I was able to snag over the weekend. Another one, I had specially requested this book like a couple of months ago.
Oh, yes.
And not only did Mark come through and save me a copy of this book, but our boy showed up with the metal cover of this book and gave it to me.
Fantastic.
This was one of the Orlando MegaCon exclusives. Got the signature down there. We're not going to leave that on screen too long. Y'all not ready for that. So, but then it was,
You just went blurry.
Yeah, just went blurry. I
Should have
love
gone
this.
blurry a second ago. That's the sensors catching up.
I'm trying to get it to.
Just lean in. Yeah, it is not liking you.
No, it is not. Yeah, you're right. The sensors did catch up.
They said, "Oh, we can't be having that on the screen. What is this?"
Maybe it'll.
There you go. Give it a second. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. That's a little better. So this right here, I love this cover because the majority of the colors are in the windshield itself.
Yep.
But I like the fact that it says frightening first issue. But if you look at the number, it's actually issue number 3.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I love that. And then I did pick up the Expo exclusives.
Yep.
My goodness, this camera's driving me nuts. This was another Kickstarter exclusive.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely beautiful. And you knew that I was going to walk away with this bad boy because we fell in love with this when he texted us the picture of it.
Oh, yeah, the Trapper Keeper or the Creeper Keeper, as he calls
the
it.
Creeper Keeper.
That is an awesome cover.
It
would help if you weren't all blurry.
Yeah, really. We got the Ninja Turtle cover.
He does Ninja Turtles very well. I have to give him props. Really I like his take on the turtles.
I got the foil and the trade dress.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do something. Nope.
That is not doing.
Is it a? Okay, that's.
I mean, it's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Nope. Near, far, near, far. Yeah, you are fuzzy. Nope, that's fuzzy too. Let's some there. That's in focus. Nope, it did not shift with it. You might have to unplug that thing and plug it back in.
I might have to. I'll give it just a second. Let's see if it pops back up.
We're having all kinds of fun issues with the technology tonight. Hallelujah. While he's dealing with his fuzziness, which is extreme and unpleasant, I will show you guys. I got this. This came from Steve Hinton and Deb Hinton's booth. And Brian Silverbacks got this for me because he knew I was excited about it. And that is this G.I. Joe lunchbox with this painted art from the early 80s. Look how skinny Snake Eyes is.
I saw that up there at Steve Hinton's booth.
He all skinified. But this lunchbox is metal. It's beat to crap. It saw some serious lunches. On the back, you got the Mobat, which is great. The side, look at this. The jetpack.
Oh yeah, that's wicked. I like that.
Look at this. I'm telling you, this lunchbox is a thing of beauty, and it makes me quite happy. Not gonna lie.
You lucky I didn't see that before you, but that Snake Eyes, he looks like he needs to eat a sandwich.
He needs a sandwich, for sure. But that's pretty impressive. So I got Snake Eyes, got that lunchbox, and that's just a thing of pure 1983 beauty, and I love it. I also picked up, I had to go meet her because she's amazing. I had to meet the cavalry. I had to meet Agent May from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Ming-Na Wen, and I got her to sign this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. hat.
Nice.
Which was pretty sweet. And
you gonna put that back on Snake Eyes' head in the shop?
You know I am not. That's staying here at the house. Now, I also got this because I get one every year from Corbin. Corbin Michael Delaney, awesome artist. He does the poster for the show every year. and he does a little remark for me on the poster. The first year he did Snake Eyes, and then he did Storm Shadow, and he just every year he's like, "Do you want a remark?" Yeah. He's like, "What do you want?" I said, "Surprise me." This year I got the poster, which is great, and I love it. But the remark he did of Zartan,
Oh, that's cool looking.
get out of here! That is great.
See, every year I want to get Corbin to remark my badge with Daredevil.
Yeah.
And when I go over to his booth, either there's a bunch of people around it, and when I have time to get back over to his booth, I just can't get back over there.
Fair enough. And then this is the jam piece. Well, I'll save my other story for a second later. Just remind me. But this is a jam piece that I had Stephen Butler start back in 2019. That's because Zartan is awesome. Yeah, can't go wrong there. But in 2019, I had Stephen Butler start this jam piece for me. And he did Spider-Man in the middle. And then he laid out a series of Spider-Man villains all around. And so then I get other artists. He just kind of did like a real loose pencil breakdown of where the other villains would go in rough poses and such. And then I get other artists to flesh out those little breakdowns and turn those into their art. And so I got 2 of them done this year, and I'm slowly filling it up. But look at that.
I saw Mark working on one of them, but I didn't know which one he was working on.
I'm going to turn this around this way, and I'm going to bring the camera around. Mark did Sandman there.
Oh, that's cool looking.
He did a great job with Sandman. Ron Friends several years ago did Kraven the Hunter. Nathan Zerdy did Electro. Sam De La Rosa did Venom, of course. And Anna Zhu, she did Carnage. And look at that Carnage. She knocked it out of the park.
Yes, she did.
And she and Stephen Butler have been friends for a long, long time. But apparently this is the first piece where they've ever worked on anything together.
Really?
And so she called him when she did this. And she's like, Stephen, I'm working on this piece. Check this out. And he's like, oh, my God, it's our first collaboration. It was great. So, yeah, I don't know if you can see it because it's really light, but there's a space for the Vulture and Green Goblin. And then down here at the bottom, boy, that's really tough. There's a space for, how do I get this so the shadow isn't on there? There's a space for Mysterio, the Shocker, tiny little space for the Shocker, tiny little space for Jackal, the Rhino, Doc Ock is up here.
Dude, that's going to look good when you get that completed.
And then you got Scorpion down here. So, yeah, over the years, as I get this fleshed out, I'm going to have this amazing piece that I can show off. I can actually hang on the wall and show off art from a whole lot of different artists. And it is really well done. And I will say, kudos to Stephen Butler, who is amazing. Everybody has said, wow, what a great job he did laying this out and putting everybody on here. They're all really impressed with it. But I just let the artist pick who they want to work on. And sometimes they surprise me. I was not expecting Mark to pick Sandman at all. I thought he might go with Mysterio or something, but he went Sandman. I'm like, okay, you do you, whatever you want to pick. But this is great, and it makes me super happy. This is awesome.
Oh, yeah, and that's going to look so good when it's completely done.
And I was thinking after this is done, however long that takes, I might go with do Batman or G.I. Joe. Probably G.I. Joe.
I think G.I. Joe would be good. Since I was so blurry, we'll pull this one up again. This was the Expo exclusive
TMNT.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think it was technically an Expo exclusive, but he did have it there. Of the Ninja Turtles, he did.
So great. I loved how he signed all of the different turtles with the different colors.
Oh yeah.
When he was doing signatures for people, he signed it 4 times, each time with a different color.
Nice. I got foil and trade dress.
Nice. Hang on, we got a comment here.
Grace,
Hey, Grace.
We were talking about you earlier. It was so
awesome
nice
to see you at the show. And come out to Haven on Free Comic Book Day. That's coming up in just a couple of weeks on May 2nd. Hope you're able to come out. That'd be awesome.
And read that trade paperback you got. I know which one you got. You'll like it.
It's not really horror. It has characters that are monsters, but it's not horror. The very first issue feels more horror than the rest of the book combined, I think.
And this is a Monster and the Wolf book. It might have been a Kickstarter. I don't know, but I felt like I needed it because how many times do you get the Bride of Frankenstein eating ice cream cone
and saying brain freeze?
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and then the final book is not one of his. The final book is actually a book that Miss Bianca and Nathan Zerdy worked on together, but I wanted a book with just her signature on it.
So gorgeous.
Because I do have a couple of books with his signature. So, and this was their Maleficent cover that they did, I believe, for, was it Dynamite?
Dynamite. Yeah.
Yep.
That is just exquisite. I mean, that is so beautiful.
Yep. So I had to pick that up and got her signature down there at the bottom. So,
fantastic.
But I think, yeah, and she actually does these with her books. So
that's nice.
You're technically getting her signature twice.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that she dated it. So I'll always know, when I got this.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
So, but then, like I said, everything else I picked up, I mean, I didn't bring them, but I mean, it was like a stack of Daredevil books. And I think I should have time this weekend because this is honestly, other than going to church Sunday, this is the first time that we're going to have a weekend where we've got absolutely nothing planned. And I am looking forward to that. But I
thought you were ready to do the expo again right now.
I mean, if Jeremy said, let's go, I'll be the first in line. I'll go. But I do need to go through the Daredevil books I got because I think I might have got a couple that I already have.
Oh, no.
So if I do, I'm just going to bring those up to the shop. They were just dollar books anyway.
Yeah.
So I'll just bring those up to the shop. And I did have a couple of books that have, because even though I felt like I was at the shop every time I turned around last week, you know what the one thing I did not do was?
What?
Get my comic books.
Get your books? Well, yeah, you were busy thinking of other things and picking up other stuff.
But these two books actually come out a couple of weeks ago. And you and I briefly texted about this one, but G.I. Joe 327. Downrange and Sherlock make a phenomenal tag team, and I hope that he ends up exploring those two together in the future on missions.
I want to tell you something, and I think you might understand the depths of how unhappy I am.
Oh, okay.
I do not have a copy of G.I. Joe 327.
And how did you manage that?
Well, I was out of town.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Justin assumed, usually rightly, that the shipment comes in. G.I. Joe's the first book I grab. And I leave a note saying I took, G.I. Joe. And so he knows not to put it in my box. But the shipment came late. And I was out of town. I did not take it because I wasn't there. And so I do not have that book in my possession, and I am displeased.
So is there even any at the shop?
There wasn't on Saturday or Friday when I came by. So yeah.
So I have, when you think about it, a G.I. Joe book that Josh does not have.
That is correct.
That just made this book so much more valuable to me.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. We're just gonna sit here and let that marinate while I flip through the book for just a moment.
Who does the art in that issue?
It was
Is it the
actually
other villain guy, Cranky or whatever his name is?
Andrew Cronky.
Okay.
But he does it in a way to where I'm going to call it that Mooneyham style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does it that way. I mean, it fits right in. He does a really good job. But in this particular, and I'm not going to give you any spoilers. I won't pick at you too much. You do have, it is Jinx, Jade, CoverGirl, Downrange, and Sherlock on a mission together.
That's awesome.
Dude, this is a great team that Larry Hama put together. And
what kind of mission is it?
They are basically trying to get into a pyramid that has a terror drone in it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, follow straight on from the previous episode. Got it.
Yeah, it pretty much does. But this right here, and it's not giving away any spoilers. This is kind of what you can expect in this issue. How you've got, where are we at? Where's my fingers? Right here. You've got Downrange sitting here with her rifle ready to go, but you've got Sherlock right behind her acting as a spotter.
Oh, nice.
And they make a really, really good team in this book. Yeah, I'm actually excited for you to read it now, since you haven't been able to. Because
I'm excited to read it.
It was a great book. Another book that literally come out a couple of weeks ago that I don't know how sales have done. I really hadn't seen any chatter online about this particular book, this particular issue, but I did pick it up and read it because I do like this character a lot. But The Fury of Firestorm, issue number 1, was really, really, really good.
Firestorm was awesome.
Did you read this?
I really liked Firestorm, and we sold out of it in a day. I ordered more copies, but they haven't come in yet.
I did like, there was one panel, maybe in roughly the middle of the book, where it did reference like past incarnations of Firestorm. And you did see that weird, funky elemental version of Firestorm that they did in the 90s.
Yep.
I thought that was really cool. This story actually started out a lot darker than what I thought it was going to. And it definitely...
it was way darker than I expected.
Yeah, and it definitely left me wanting more. This has the potential to be a really, really, really good series. I don't know if is it going to be ongoing or like a mini or a maxi series?
Supposed to be ongoing, yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this. I can't remember if I added it to my pull list.
You better, because you know what happens when you don't.
I know. I think I did add it to my pull list, but just in case if I didn't, go ahead and add it for me.
Yeah, so, no, I was very pleasantly surprised by that book. I wasn't sure what to expect. It was definitely darker than I felt like. It felt very Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, it really did.
And then you've got this whole thing, part of what has always made him work, and it's also part of the tragedy of the character, is you got two different people there, right? Him and the professor. And come to find out, part of the problem here is the professor's missing. And how can the professor be missing? I mean, he's locked inside the guy's head, but the professor is missing.
Okay. And, give you an idea of like artwork and stuff. I thought that was a great panel of Firestorm.
Oh yeah. But what a strange book. It kind of was not what I was expecting, but really, really good. The book I'm really looking forward to this week is Batgirl Breakout, or whatever it is. It's Barbara Gordon in prison. I'm looking forward to reading that like all get out. That's going to be great.
I might have to check that out. And another thing that I really liked about this Firestorm book is how when you kind of got a little bit of like the flashback scenes, they look like the old school comic.
Yes.
I thought that was a really cool touch. Yeah, I'm actually excited for this book now, more so than what I was. Another book that I picked up and I do not have it with me is Flash Gordon Zero. Just came out within the past couple of weeks.
Okay.
And it is so Jeremy Adams is finished his run on Flash Gordon. That ended with issue 15. Flash is back on Earth. I cannot. The name of the writer that's taken over for him just completely and totally left me.
Okay.
So the entire team has changed. And I don't know how I feel about it, but it's also the same thing. Whenever a new team takes over a book, you got to give it like a few issues to let them get settled in and see which direction it's going to go.
Yep.
But one thing about it is Flash is actually back on Earth now. So, and it's like, is it really a Flash Gordon book if he's on Earth?
Best movie year.
I want to say, I'm going to look this up, but before I actually look it up, I'm saying 1984.
Well, which movies are you thinking there?
You know what? I know exactly why I thought 1984. Full disclosure, I just Googled it, but the top 1984 picks, Dune, Dreamscape, The Last Starfighter. There were a ton of movies that Up the Creek, which was a great comedy if nobody ever saw it. What else came out in 84? Indiana Jones, The Temple of Doom, Cloak and Dagger, The Toxic Avenger. Yeah, I picked good when I said 1984.
What all came out the same year as Predator? Because I want to say that was a big year.
All right, let's look. I'm Googling. 1987, so we had, The Return to Salem's Lot, Full Metal Jacket. Oh, hey, here's a great one. The Lost Boys came out.
Uh-huh.
The Untouchables with Kevin Costner, phenomenal movie. La Bamba came out. Dolph Lundgren's Masters of the Universe. I don't care what anybody says.
That was a better movie than people give it credit for. That was actually really good.
Yeah. Oh, well, here's a good one. Inner Space came out. That was a good movie.
That was a fun movie. Yeah.
Mannequin came out. That was another good one.
It's a creepy movie, but a fun movie.
Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. Phenomenal movie. I loved it. Man, there was 80s was just a great time.
It was a great time for movies. 2008 has a really good argument for being the best year. Because that's the year that kicked off the MCU. That was when Iron Man came out.
Yep.
So maybe not the best year for movies in general, but a pivotal year for nerds. 2001, I think that was what Fellowship of the Ring came out, and Spider-Man. I think both of those. I mean, what was your number one movie the year you were born? That's actually a good question. I have no idea. I don't even know what movies came out in 1970.
I don't know the number one movie the year I was born, but you know what movie did come out the year I was born?
What?
The Exorcist. Coincidence?
So they said, out, demon, out. And you came out. You were born.
Okay, so I do have to address this. There is one particular scene from a comedy that I've seen it 1,000 times. It is so blatantly stupid that I cannot. But you said from the 90s. I automatically went to Spies Like Us with Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase from the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's the scene where they are taking the test and he's literally trying to get his attention and then he farts in the middle of the test. And I don't know why. I don't know why, but I cannot stop laughing at that scene every time I see it.
If I had to pick just one scene, comedy scene, uh, I couldn't tell you what episode number it is, and I'm pretty sure it was in the 90s. But I would have to go with the opening, cold open bit of an episode of Frasier where Niles is trying to uh, do something and he ends up he spills something on himself and he has to he's got to clean his suit and he has to iron his suit and then something catches fire and he pricks his finger, he sees blood, he passes out, but it's just this stream of nonstop one-man farce that is one of the best 3-minute segments on television ever. It was phenomenal and it made me very happy. Turd Ferguson. Oh, this is Turd Ferguson. I'll take anal bum cover for 200.
Okay, now we've got to talk about it. And I know that, in fact, we are both completely caught up on Daredevil, Born Again.
Mm-hmm.
They pushed so far on the Hell Unleashed storyline with that one scene.
Yes.
It was making, dude, that scene made me nervous. I got it excited, nervous. I was like, oh my God. I mean, that was perfect. I do have to say that I have and just not just because of that scene, I've got a new appreciation for the character Buck now.
Yes.
That dude, I really want to see him and Daredevil square off.
Yeah, I do too. The bit where he takes what's his face, like baby Fisk.
I was really hoping he was going to get buried in the woods, but I know who you're George, is that his name?
Daniel or whatever his name.
Daniel,
I think it's Daniel. But where he's taking him out in the car, and the whole time Daniel is thinking like, oh my God, he's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. And then he's just got that reporter's body in Daniel's trunk. And he asks him shovel or saw. And you're like,
It just turned into a Goodfellas moment.
It did. And you're like, oh my gosh, no, that's so, everybody was so afraid Disney was going to sanitize the heck out of Daredevil. They did not.
No. And this bizarre little relationship between him and Bullseye all of a sudden is working really well.
Here's a fun thing for you at the booth, and I wish to goodness you had been there. Maybe you were. Maybe I was thinking it was Bill Hubsher, but maybe you were there. We had a guy come by the booth, and we were talking Daredevil, and he had just started the Disney Daredevil with Born Again. He has not seen the Netflix, the 3 Netflix seasons.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, I'm so lost. Like, who is this Foggy guy? And I'm like, no. Go back, watch the Netflix series, and then that will make a lot more sense to you. And he's like, oh, okay.
See, I really like what Disney did with it, because that first episode of Born Again, it felt like a comic book. It felt like you were watching a live action comic book, almost kind of say like that, like a light and happy time in Daredevil / Murdoch's life. And then Foggy got killed. Yep. And you were right back into the nitty-gritty version of the Netflix series.
Now, this is a big question here.
NES games.
I mean, Super Mario Brothers, obviously. Yeah. That was amazing.
Super Contra for me. I really liked that.
Yes. Contra was spectacular. And then you've got things like Castlevania, Double Dragon. Double Dragon was pretty great.
Yeah.
Tetris.
Yeah.
That's where that came out. Yeah, that's tough. But for me, I'm going to say Super Mario Brothers 3, Contra, and there's a soft spot in my heart for Double Dragon, so Double Dragon.
All right. With me, I would. So here's a good one, and this is not a pity party or anything. I never owned an NES.
I didn't either. I just
Yeah,
played them at my friends' houses.
Yeah, that's how I was. I had to play at my friends' houses, and we always played Super Mario Brothers and Contra, and that we tried Metroid, but I really and truly didn't like it too much.
Oh, I loved Metroid, but it was hard.
Yeah, and that's probably why I didn't like it. But then I literally, my first Sega Genesis, my girlfriend, who is now my wife, that's probably the reason why she is my wife, is because she bought me my first Sega Genesis.
Yeah, that's marriage material.
Yeah, that's marriage material right there. She bought that for me, so that's how I got my first Sega Genesis. And then from there, it's just been downhill ever since. But I'm also old enough to where I actually had a Atari.
Yep. I didn't have one of those, but my cousin did.
Yeah, I had an Atari, and I used to just absolutely wear Pitfall out.
We all wore Pitfall out. Did you go forwards or backwards?
I always went forwards.
It was boring to me going forwards. I just went backwards. It was combination boring, and I kept dying. But going backwards, I could live a lot longer.
Okay. Okay, so here's my theory on Daredevil. They come out and said, when I say they, I mean like producers, writers, all that, said that you need to watch Daredevil Born Again Season 2.
Yep.
And then you need to watch Punisher One Last Kill.
Yep.
And then go into Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Yep.
But they also said that you could watch any of those without really and truly needing to see the other. I don't think that that's accurate. And here's the reason being, if you look, and I'm calling it now, I could be 100% wrong, but when you look at where we are in Born Again Season 2,
yep.
This season's going to end with him in jail. Daredevil is going to be in jail.
Yep.
We are going to have Daredevil mask, bushy beard, orange jumpsuit, straight out of Mayor Fisk. That entire storyline.
Yep.
Whatever's going to happen I think One Last Kill, Punisher's going to be dealing with some of the riots that has ensued from all this.
Yep.
But there's one scene in the Spider-Man Brand New Day that really stands out, and that one scene that you see in the trailer is starting to make more and more and more sense. Why is Spider-Man fighting red ninjas in what looks like a prison environment? Red ninjas in Marvel only means one thing.
The Hand.
The Hand. Daredevil. And if the Hand is involved, Daredevil's involved. So I'm calling it, we're going to get a Daredevil cameo in Spider-Man.
Well, hang on now, because if we get that storyline, which I agree, it's where it looks like it's going, that means we should also get Elektra in the Daredevil suit.
Yep. I think we should, but they would have to. I mean, honestly, we did see her in the Netflix series. We did see her in Defenders a little bit.
Picture her in the Daredevil suit. Because I love that Elektra Daredevil suit. That is a great look. And I like who she is as a character in that suit.
Yeah, but the thing is the average MCU is the average MCU fan that doesn't know anything about the comic books, are they going to understand what's going on?
I'm going to be honest with you. Selfishly, I don't care.
I'm the same way.
I don't care. If they tell the story right, and they do it right, yeah, they'll care. If they do it wrong, it won't matter.
Well, with what they're doing now, and I mean, Brand New Day is going to be a big one, but with what they did with Thunderbolts and the way they've kind of restructured everything, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
I think they're getting their little kinks worked out that they had there for a while.
Oh yeah. I think they're over their phase 4 malaise, and that they're moving in a good direction. Uh, what they did with Endgame and all that was really really good, and it was great. I think part of the problem is that once you go massive cosmic world ending threats, it's really hard to dial it back down to street level, which is part of the reason I didn't want them to go that big that quickly.
Yeah.
Or at least not drag the entirety of the universe into it. Spider-Man should be a street level guy. Daredevil is a street level guy. They shouldn't be out in space fighting aliens. Um,
No, I don't think we'll get Young Avengers.
they sure did do everything in the world to set that up, and then they just dropped it.
Yep.
Just dropped it, which is unfortunate. Um, so let's go back a minute here to some other things. Did you finally get the chance to read that Crimson Guard silent issue of G.I. Joe?
Yes, I did. And that was, dude, that actually lived up to the hype.
That was amazing.
Yeah, it really was. I think they did it perfectly with who was actually in the Crimson Guard outfit. I mean, I just, the way when you see him changing clothes and you see who ends up in the outfit, now it makes sense why we have a Crimson Guard silent issue.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, that was so good.
It was brilliantly done, and you don't even have to be a GI Joe fan to read that and get that right away. Right? You read that, you see what's happening, you pick up on it, and that story makes sense if you're a GI Joe fan or not. That's really great. What monster is most underrated?
I don't think any of them are truly underrated because they all have their own fandoms, so to speak.
Are you talking Universal monsters or just monsters in general?
Yeah, if you're talking just monsters like Godzilla, King Kong, all that stuff. If you're going Universal monsters, I don't know. I think all of them. I mean, Dracula's always going to be at the head of the table, but I think all of them, the rest of them, are pretty much on equal footing. The very first Frankenstein movie with the little girl and everything, with Boris Karloff, was a phenomenal movie. I love the fact that if you actually go to Epic Universe and you're in Dark Universe, there is a statue in like the little graveyard thing that they have set up that's like a memorial to that little girl from that particular movie.
Nice.
Which is just beautiful that you got, because I mean, that if you watch that original movie with him, that entire scene between her and the monster and her actually dying is actually a heartbreaking scene.
Yes.
And the fact that they did like this little memorial to that for the people that actually bothered to watch those movies.
Which was a lot of people.
Do what?
Which was a lot of people. Those movies, the monster movies, saved the Universal Studios. They were going under.
Yeah.
And they made those movies cheap and put them out really, really, really fast, like in 90 days. And they touched a nerve, and they made people excited. And the monster movies legitimately saved the studio.
Yeah, but like if you look at it now, this day and age, there's a lot of people that have not seen those movies.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the people like our age. I mean, there's a lot of people our age that have not watched those movies all the way through.
They should all be
Black
punished.
Lagoon. I think Creature from the Black Lagoon is a very underrated one.
I think that one probably, like, people recognize the character,
Yep.
But I think people don't have any idea of the story because I don't think most people have seen it.
Yeah, and then the fact that the guy who actually played the creature was an Olympic swimmer, and that's the only reason why they got him was because he could actually swim in the suit.
Hang on now, this is an important question.
Captain Ron.
Wow. I don't know. King Ralph is a pretty great movie.
Yeah, I think Gilman definitely has like the best overall creature design. But when you start looking at like just the sheer acting that Boris Karloff had to do as Frankenstein's monster, and that Lon Chaney had to
and
do
as the mummy.
Yeah. Well, that too, but Lon Chaney as the Wolfman.
Yeah.
The
Lon Chaney
level of
Jr.
the level of acting that he had to do, just because if you look at those original transformation scenes, yeah, you kind of see where the camera cuts and everything. We understand that now, but there were a lot of aspects of his transformation that was literally just him making faces.
Yep.
And he made people believe it.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, we could talk about the Universal monsters all day long. I am getting kind of tired of the Mummy though, because it seems like every single time something gets brought up about the Mummy, even in the latest comic book that they did, it's just another damn Imhotep and a Nox and a Moon story. It's just a retelling of that story.
They have seemed to have locked onto that like a hinge, and they just keep going back and forth on the same story.
We know, I mean, at least Anne Rice made the Mummy, he was Ramses the Dam. At least he changed it up.
Yeah. So, for Stacy, for Acres of Movies, Dave or An American President?
That's rough, but I know who I'm going with.
I have a feeling I know who you're going with.
And you're going to laugh at me as the reason why I'm going with it, but
Okay.
I'm literally going with An American President.
Because of Annette Bening.
But I think it was, if you look at that particular aspect of it, it was a great love story.
Oh, it absolutely was.
I mean,
it was.
I mean, it did everything it was supposed to do. Dave to me was just funny.
Dave was hilarious. I really liked it. I loved the when he brings in his friend, the accountant, to balance the budget. And he's like, because he's got to claw back all this money if he wants to do. Just so funny.
Yeah, both of those were great. The Creature, I enjoyed the Creature comic book just because of like this bizarre relationship that she had with the Creature there toward the end. Nothing weird, kids. Get your minds out of the gutter.
I thought Phantom of the Opera was a bizarre choice.
Yeah,
I was like, why are they doing that?
I didn't even make it past the 3rd issue of The Mummy.
Because it was awful.
Yep.
It was quite disappointing, I have to say.
Hammer
versus Universal for monster movies.
Hammer. Who is Hammer?
It's a good question.
All right, hang on. Oh, Hammer. Well, no.
What?
Oh, Hammer is like really old. Well, I mean, Hammer put out some great ones. They really did. The Revenge of Frankenstein, The Curse of Frankenstein. I've seen both of those. They were both good. They put out a ton. Then that's also when you get into the Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, Dracula stories.
Yep.
Brides of Dracula was really good. I'm still going to have to go with Universal.
Okay, we'll call it a draw.
Yeah, I'm still going to have to go. I mean, Hammer did a lot of really good ones.
Why not both?
I have not seen this one. I need to track this one down by Hammer.
Which one?
It was a Mummy movie that I hadn't seen.
Well, there you go. So let me grab my list of comics here, or stack of comics here, and see what I've got. Um, I have not read this one. I haven't read any of these yet because it's been a week, but I've got to read the new Batman, and I'm
I,
looking
you know,
forward to that.
did I miss something somewhere? Because that one literally, Poison Ivy is the new mayor.
What?
Yeah. And it was almost like, wait a minute, when did this happen? And I know I haven't missed an issue.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I haven't read any of these yet. So, but I have heard really good things about this issue. And
The
when I talked to Tom today, we ordered heavy on this. When I talked to Tom today, we have exactly one copy left.
It's really good. I've read it. I love the fact that throughout every single story in it, they already know each other.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
Yeah.
And I liked it when in the DC take on Superman, Spider-Man, that they the way they were palling around as a journalist and a photographer.
Yep. There's one in there, and I don't know whose take on it was, but the entire story is pretty much Lois and Mary Jane having a conversation in the
That was
middle of
great.
Yeah, I love that.
I thought that was great. But yeah, I mean, Peter's bringing Aunt May to meet Ma and Pa Kent. Are you kidding me? How great is that? I'm so excited to read this.
There's a really good story in there about how Uncle Ben was a traveling salesman.
Okay.
And his car broke down, and it was Pa Kent that helped him out.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some the entire thing is a really good read from beginning to end. You'll enjoy it.
So Jeff Johns and Gary Frank with Brad Anderson have done a story in here. That's awesome.
What other comics you got in that stack? Because I literally there's so many that we haven't talked about here lately.
Well, it's been several weeks, right, since we've got to. I haven't got to read this yet.
Actually, I have not read that one yet either. But it's more of a. It's not really one that you got to read.
Well, it's not a reading book so much as it's here's a bunch of lore.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I got Red Coat, which I'm excited for. Let's see. I haven't read this issue of Hyde Street yet.
That was a really good issue.
Iron Man #3. I haven't read G.I. Joe 21 yet.
When did
Speaking
that
of which, that was nearly disastrous. So far, it is indeed a silent issue.
When did G.I. Joe 21 come out?
But I don't know. This week, last week, something.
It had to have been last week because I'm pretty much, other than books that I have not bought, I'm caught up, and I'm only like 1 week behind, or technically 2.
It is a silent issue.
G.I. Joe 21 is a silent issue?
Well, it was. Let me make sure. Oh, yeah, that's all. I was like, who is this on these last pages? Yes, it's a silent issue. G.I. Joe 21 is a silent issue. I say that. There are a couple of text blocks that are not, there's no dialogue. There are some text blocks that say things, but there's no dialogue. Oh, no.
Don't read it now. We're trying to do a show. He said, oh, no.
Oh, I just saw the end, and oh no, it's not good. It's very not good. I'm concerned now. I have to say, speaking of silent issues, Monster and the Wolf #3. This detail right here, where he's got that bit of sinew stretched across
Yep.
to hold the hand, that creeps me out. That is super creepy. But that, speaking of silent issues, that's a silent issue. Um, and he doesn't have anything in there with writer, editor, any of that. Although it was you and I that suggested that he make it a silent issue.
Yeah, I would. I wasn't going to bring that up.
I'm just going to bring it up right now because we did, and he did, and it worked. Good call. Good call, us.
Yeah, really. Acres, I would say the only Robert Altman movie that I've actually seen is MASH. And I mean, it was a great movie that spawned a great TV show.
The Ordained Special.
That is in my box.
I haven't read this yet either, because again, haven't read anything in weeks. But if you're not reading Ordained, what an awesome book. What a seriously awesome book. If you like John Wick, you should be reading Ordained. Period. The end.
Why does that one comment keep popping up?
I do not know. It's that good, that comment.
What we got here?
Yeah, Alan, did you have to rough anybody up?
No, I did not. There were a couple that were a little feisty. They were a little excited. They saw some of those and some of those books. Did not have to rough anybody up, but
Alan didn't have to rough anybody up, but I do believe he had to do a couple of verbal takedowns.
Now, there was one funny moment. Mark's nephew, Ryan, was kind of helping with the line some, and Ryan just got out of the Army.
Oh, boy.
And it was like one of those, hey, stand down. We're all just a bunch of nerds that are excited. We don't need military precision crowd control, to which at point I also looked at Bug and said, if anything happens, you hide behind Ryan, I'm running.
That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. So Kane, I know you guys were at the Expo. What were your takeaways from the Expo? Anything particularly you want to share with folks? What did you see? What did you buy? Did you have a good time? That kind of thing. Inquiring minds want to know. If you didn't see it, Kane, because you weren't on yet at the time, I will flash this bad boy back up. Look at that.
Oh, I did make it over. The Bug and I went and did our yearly purchase of miniature Lego action figures.
Look at that. Spider-Man by Stephen Butler. Electro by Nathan Zerdy. Sandman by Mark Spears. Craven the Hunter by Ron Friends. Look at that sick Carnage by Anna Jo. And Venom by Sam De La Rosa. And I still got lots more characters to go. I'm excited for this. And when I'm done with this, apparently, I'm going to do G.I. Joe. I had thought Batman, but I'll do G.I. Joe. I have to get Stephen Butler to do me another layout, because that was really awesome.
I wouldn't mind getting him to do me a layout of the Universal monsters like that.
You know what you ought to do? And there's something wrong with you if you don't. Daredevil.
Yeah.
You get Daredevil with his Rogues Gallery and Stiltman real prominent.
I might have to talk to Mr. Butler about that.
That's what you need to do.
Or, yeah, but if I was to do that with Daredevil and his Rogues Gallery, one person, naturally get Mr. Butler to do Daredevil himself. but one person that has got to do one of the rogues simply because I know how big of a Daredevil fan he is.
Corbin.
That is Corbin.
Yeah, Corbin Michael Delaney for the win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you do you ever at the expo, do you ever go over to that guy's booth that does the miniature Lego action figures?
I walked past it on my way to the bathroom.
So it was probably the first year that he come to the expo.
Yeah.
Bug and I found his booth, and he had like a really small setup.
Yes.
And we ended up picking up a couple, and it has turned into an expo tradition that we go to his booth because you can get like 5 of them for $20.
Yep.
So we go and we pick out. Bug's got a bunch of them. I've got a bunch of them. My wife even has 2 of them in her car on the dashboard.
I'm going to tell you something, and I feel sad. It was the last day of the show, and there was something I wanted to do, and couldn't quite do it the traditional way because Jeremy didn't set up his booth. But I was going to try and snag you a G.I. Joe figure, classified action figure at a ridiculous price. And the one that I had my eye on, they sold it before I got back. And so I was not able to do it because it was one that I think that you would want.
Which one was it?
The Cobra Eels.
I have a Cobra eel.
Do you have one?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what? You can never have enough Cobra eels.
That's what I said. Because he said, well, what if he already has it? And I said, well, you can't have too many. That's physically impossible because that's one of the best action figures they've ever done.
And
in the small size or the classified size. It's a great figure.
And I hate that Jeremy was not set up because that was another tradition. I had always purchased a G.I. Joe classified at Jeremy's booth every year.
Yep.
He just may have to meet me at the storage unit and sell me one out the back door.
You know, I bet he would be fine with that.
He ruined my expo.
And I bet he feels terrible. Just terrible.
I'm sure he does. You know, that's another thing about FarleyCon.
Yeah.
I did not buy a G.I. Joe classified at FarleyCon, and would you like to know the silly reason why?
Why?
I got so confused because there was so many I wanted that they had there.
Oh, fair enough.
I got so confused, I just shut myself down.
Do we talk about any special guests we got to meet? I only got to meet a couple. I say that. I met Ming-Na Wen, and I met Ron Perlman. And I met David Thornton.
Yeah, I met David Thornton, got to talk to him for a while. I got to talk about Terry's Pizza to him.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I really didn't get to meet anybody else. But
who was that was speaking blasphemy about Terry's Pizza?
Jeremy Long.
Oh.
And I know this
we should talk to Terry's Pizza and see about getting them to sponsor the expo next year.
Really? Or get them to sponsor Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah. Oh,
we're on to something now.
We're 2 weeks away. Give those guys a call.
I've never been really big on meeting like some of those special guests like that. I like going over and actually seeing them.
Yeah.
I never realized that, and I love the Smallville television show, Grace, but I never realized that Tom Welling is actually a giant in real life. That I was kind of like, holy crap. And I mean, so it's cool seeing all of them. Last year, I really enjoyed meeting Frank Grillo more than what I thought I would. That man is like so down to earth and easy to talk to. And it was actually by accident that we met him and got to talk to him. Him and his agent were just walking through the expo, and they walked right in front of the Haven booth, and we just started talking.
Yep.
And then, David Howard Thornton, absolute sweetheart. But other than that,
I did meet Ma Kent. I did meet Superman's mom. Neva Howell, tiny little woman. I went over to see her specifically because Aaron was not able to come to the expo this year. Broke his heart because he hasn't missed one since he started coming, and he couldn't come this year. And I didn't think that his job uh, is one where he was going to get to meet her. Fingers crossed, but didn't think that was going to happen. And so I met her and I talked to her, and she's like, "Would do you think he would want a signed picture?" And I said, well, "I'm sure he would love one." And then she wouldn't let me pay her for it, and so I gave the money to her handler. And she ended up walking out from behind her booth, and she's like, "Is it all right if I give you a hug?" And I was like, "Bring it." And for a super tiny, tiny little lady, she gives a great big hug. I'm going to say that. She was every bit just like the grandma you want to go hang out with and eat cookies. I would love to sit at the kitchen table with her and eat cookies. She was amazing.
I wanted to go to that, but I was so tired by the time we got out of there Friday night. Since Rosenbaum couldn't make it, did Erica Durant sit in? Or was it just Tom Welling for the Smallville Nights? I was kind of wondering
I
how that
think
went
she
down.
sat in on that. I think
Did
she.
what?
I think she did. I think she sat in.
Okay.
Will Wheaton. I really wanted to meet Will Wheaton, and I saw where he was going to be, but I never saw him. Was he only there on Saturday?
I think so, and I only saw him one time when we were walking around.
Yeah, never saw Will Wheaton.
One funny moment was I had, because when you're working a booth all weekend, sometimes you're just like, I've got to take a break.
Yep.
I've got to get out from behind this table, and you just go for a walk. Well, Bug and I was walking, and we walked around, and we saw everybody, and she did her usual. She thinks she's being sneaky. She's taking a selfie, but her camera is actually pointed at the person. But we come walking down through, and we got to where all the voice actors were at, and I was like, they did so and so and so and so and so, and she's like, well, I really don't really know any of these people. I don't care who the voice actors are. And about the time I said that, I went, and there's Matt Leitner. He does the voice for Anakin Skywalker. And she looks over and she goes, no. And I went, yeah, he does the voice for Anakin Skywalker. And she goes, no. He is Chicago from Pitch Perfect 3, and he will always be Chicago from one of the greatest movies ever made. And kept on walking. Dude, she done put her foot down. I thought like I was in trouble there for a minute.
Oh, I can't find it right now, but I did also meet Bill Farmer, the voice of Goofy, Disney legend Bill Farmer.
I never saw the people that were taking the pictures for the photo ops, so I can't talk about how sexy they were.
That's a good point. But I brought one of the comics we had at the booth. It's a 1953 Golden Age book of Goofy on the cover. And I brought that over to him to get him to sign it. And he was pretty great.
I mean, everybody that, because, we were kind of diagonal from him, and everybody that was at his booth, Grace, it was funny. It was, you had him, and then you had Chris Sarandon, and then I never got to meet him, and then you had David Howard Thornton, and then diagonal, we could see Christopher Lloyd. And all the people that was in that area, they looked like they were having so much fun with those guys.
I tell you, Christopher Lloyd's line was insane the entire week long.
And that man hung in there the entire weekend. He did not let up.
I really wanted, if I had had the forethought and the time and all that stuff, I would have brought in a 55-gallon barrel, 55-gallon drum to get him to sign it.
From Taxi?
No.
What are you talking about then? I'm lost.
The Dip.
The Dip?
Dude, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh. Well, when
he goes and he puts that shoe in there.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, I'm more, when I think Christopher Lloyd, it's Doc Brown, Uncle Fester, Taxi.
Yeah. But but also the bad guy from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, I've seen that movie one time, and it's been years since I've seen it.
You need to go back and watch it because it is a jewel of a movie.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawing that way.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the scenes, like in the bar where you've got the Looney Tunes characters and the Disney characters, and like Betty Boop is the waitress. And when Eddie orders his drink on the rocks and she walks off, and he's like, I meant ice. And she comes back and he's got his drink poured over rocks. Yeah, it's great. It's just great. No, it's fantastic. Love that movie.
Oh, Nick, if you are still on here, I sent you a message on Discord last night, and I mentioned it at the expo, and you said no, but I'm not taking no for an answer. We are playing Old Gods, June 27th, free RPG day. It's not as scary as you think it is. It should not be any worse than the last time we played a game together and I was interrogating children thinking they were about 9,000 years old. They were
And
little
you were
demons.
right.
So it's not going to be that bad. You can suck it up and play one scary game with us.
That's right.
I mean,
do it, Nick.
You did go see Alien like a big boy. You can handle this.
Didn't he almost like punch somebody?
Oh, dude, he cussed me out with like the first few scenes of that movie. He jumped in his seat. F you.
That's funny. Oh, Lord, that's funny. Well, guys, we are winding down because we're both tired and Alan still has to run an errand. So I think we're about to call it for the night. We have Free Comic Book Day is coming up on May 2nd, so just a couple weeks away. It's going to be a big deal out at Haven. Please come out and enjoy it with us. We are doing our food drive for Manor House, so bring canned goods, non-perishable food items. Make sure that they have not expired. That's really important because they cannot accept them if they have expired. So yeah, come on out, bring them. We're going to have a good time. Tom will be set up out front doing drawings and things. We might even get one of those dunk tanks and put Alan in it.
Let's do this.
If it gets back up to the hot weather that they're promising, a dunk tank's going to sound pretty nice.
Wait a minute. Is that, hang on a second. When is that?
Saturday, May 2nd.
It's like a week from this Saturday?
Yes.
May not be I know it's supposed to be once it starts raining this tomorrow night, it's supposed to rain pretty much off and on for about the next week and a half.
Great.
But you can't complain because, we hadn't had rain in a month of Sundays.
Yeah, I just wish the timing weren't that way. But yes, I agree. But anyway, Free Comic Book Day is going to be an absolute blast. And you won't know if you don't show up. That's all I'm going to say.
That charity contribution will go straight to my Daredevil #1.
Let's see here. What is it? The end of May.
Did not know
that. Ron Mars, 2 hours. Yeah. He might just come down to see that I was dead serious about Samurai Heaven and Earth. Dude, I always win that. That's not even a contest. Although we did all see that picture of Alan the other day.
And speaking of saggy ones.
Okay, clearly we're getting a little punch drunk here.
Yeah, we are kind of tired.
Hope you guys have an awesome week. Come out and see us at Haven. Do plan on coming out on May 2nd for Free Comic Book Day. It's going to be a huge day. And we are doing a food drive for Manor House, just like always. And we want to make sure that that we bring a lot to those guys. This is a rough time of year for them because most people donate a lot during Christmas and Thanksgiving. And by about this time of the year, they're running out of things. So a big infusion of donations from us for all of our neighbors here in North Alabama. is really, really helpful for them. And it's a good time of year to do that. So anything you can bring, anything you can do to help out would be greatly appreciated. Every single item you bring gets you an entry into our raffle. And we have a whole host of prizes, all kinds of things. So it's going to be pretty great. And it's helping out our friends and neighbors. And plus, you get free comics already. So it's a win-win-win all the way around. I have challenged everybody for years, and we haven't quite got there yet. And so I throw down the gauntlet yet again. Make me have to rent a truck to take everything over to Manor House. Make me do it. Make it so I cannot fit all that stuff in my van. Make me rent a truck. Bring so much stuff that I have to rent a truck. That's my challenge. Gauntlet thrown. Pick it up and let's do this. But we will get you guys next week. Hope you guys all have a great week. Read some comics. Come back ready to talk about them. And we will see you next time. Thank you, guys.